So the next thing is that right there, fuel tank. I'm gonna go and have some lunch and gonna have 20 minutes and then come back and we're gonna start pulling out the fuel tank. Whoopee. Anyway, it has to be done. Well, it's mostly out. I don't need it any further. I can actually get into work on it there. But before I start cutting any holes in it, put the new sender unit in, I'm gonna go and grab the old tank. I do have another one. It came out of the other van, and I'm gonna experiment on that one. Now, before anybody panics, it's not a good tank. It does leak, so I've got no, I'm not losing anything by cutting a few extra holes in it. But yeah, I'd rather make a mistake on that one than make a mistake on this one, which is a good tank. So let's go and grab it, and then we will start figuring this all out. So it's getting dark out here and it's cold, but I have got this figured out now. I've worked it out on this old tank here. Again, like I said in the beginning, don't panic. Anybody wondering if I've just cut a hole in a perfectly good tank? No. This seam around the tank, I think it's on the other side, it does seep. And there's not a lot you can do to fix these plastic tanks. The one in the van is a good one, so there's no reason for me to mess about with it. It's done. It's done its job, and it allowed me to basically set this sender unit out. It allowed me to set this sender unit up without actually completely removing the old tank. So yeah, it's worked out quite nicely for me there. So okay, I don't actually have it in the tank yet, but I do have the sender unit wired up under there. So what I want you to do is tell me if it works. So let's see if we can get the camera set up in here somewhere. Where can we put it? Give me a moment. Okay, I think you can see it there. Yeah, you might want to protect your ears because the lights on buzzer might start. Or not. Okay, let's get on it and move the sender unit. Okay, so let's try this again. My camera died. It is cold here today, and it really is just killing all the batteries and everything. So anyway, oh, there's the buzzer. Okay, obviously we are reading a little on the gauge because I don't know where I've left the sender unit, but tell me if it works correctly. Did it work? It actually does seem to be sitting. I need to have a look at that tomorrow. It is sitting a little too high there. I'm assuming it went up. But yeah, we'll figure this out. Anyway, it seems to work. I think. I'll have to look at the video. Anyway, I'm off. What's up guys? So, when we left this, it's now a couple of days ago, I was working on the fuel gauge tank sender unit. So I haven't actually done anything more on this. I have been, if you saw my update video, you know I was working on this thing of basically rebuilding the rocker panel on this side. So I didn't make a video on it because I needed it done and this moved along quickly, so yeah, didn't spend any time shooting video. So anyway, we're back to this. So if you recall, I set up and installed, well, I used this old gas tank to basically set up the sender unit. So I've now got to transfer what I did on here over to the other tank. So we have a good example here of why it is important to really think things out. Now, I have made a mistake here and I'll own it. My intention was to put the sender unit right there. I realised something when I had my arm in just to see what was on the other side of this. I realised that I could not reach there, which meant I could not get my hand in to put the nuts on the other side of the sender unit, because it drops in and then drill the hoop. I think it's 5 or 6 holes around the outside of it. There's a gasket goes on and then it clamps down. I did not consider that. I just figured pop my arm in there, scoot it along here, put the nuts and bolts on and the washers, tighten it up and call it good. So I have relocated the hole to here and I can get my arm in there. So, and if I take my jacket off, so it's a bare arm, I can get it in even easier. But you know, we've got to be aware of these things, and like I say, I do hold my hand up and say I'd not considered that. But again, I'm doing it on an old gas tank, so I've escaped this one. But that is something just to be very aware of if you're doing this yourself. Make sure you can get your damned arm in. So one thing I have had to do is the actual bolts that come with the kit are too short. So I've run into town and picked these up. These are actually stainless steel, so I figured it'll be better. They are a little bit too long, but that'll be fine. They're inside the tank, you're not going to see them. But I don't know how well you can see that. One thing I have made sure I did before I actually install these. Let me see. There we go. Rubber seal on the top of the bolt. Now there is a gasket between the actual sender unit and the tank itself. However, don't forget, you can get fuel seeping through up the bolt thread and out of the bolt head. So each bolt has a little rubber gasket on there, just to doubly sure, make sure nothing is going to escape. So I've got these here now. Had the drill on charge, so all I've got to do now is actually drill the hole and install it. So yeah, I've been putting this off because it's damp and it's cold, but I've got to get under that van, so here we go. Well, this has proven to be one of those days. Yeah, grabbed the bolts, went to put them in. I asked for either Torx or Allen heads, hex wrench heads, but if you look carefully in there, you can see there's actually a little post right in the middle of the bolt, in the middle of the head. I do have the tool for that, I just don't have it here. So it's either another hour-long round trip into town to get another set of bolts, or I just suck it up and I should be able to get a small set of vice grips on the top of this and a 10mm wrench inside, and because it doesn't have to be crunched down to like 200 pound-feet or something, it just needs to be enough to seal the gasket. So yeah, trials and tribulations. I should have looked closer. I mean, I should have done, but then again, I didn't expect to be. I think this is like a security bolt or something like that. Never mind, let's get on with it. Okay, so I am having a little bit of a change of mind. I've gone with this location instead. There is a divot in here that I don't recall seeing in the other tank, and that's going to cause a problem because it means I cannot get my fingers past here. So I've went to this location again. Once again, I've checked the depth and everything. Everything's fine. So, you know, this is just the way things are when you're doing custom installations with anything. You've just got to be flexible, and you know, no matter how much you plan, there's always something that's going to throw a wobbly. So, new location. Obviously, there's enough cable and everything. So, yeah. I am also, I've changed my mind on how I'm going to mount these. Well, obviously I've got 2 bolts in there at the moment. All I've done is I've got the sender unit lined up, I've drilled one hole, put a bolt in, made sure it's lined up, put a second bolt in, and that's just to stop it moving around so I get all the holes equal. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bolts up from the inside out and then just shave the ends off when it's all nice and tight. So, I mean, like I say, just little things like that you've just got to make adjustments for. So yeah, anyway, let's get the rest of these holes drilled and I will get this bolted in, and yeah, well, and there we have it. Yeah, so it's in, it's nicely secured. I can get my arm in there, and the float has nice range of travel. So last thing to do is slice 4 of these off. One of them I do need to leave a little bit longer because there is a ground to go on there, but yeah, all I'm going to do with that is just probably do that one there, just pop a washer on it, put the nut on, slice it off, take the nut off, and then that should be a nice height for the ground. So yeah, overall a bit of a pain to do. I mean, mostly because there's just sharp edges all around this, so I've sliced my arm to, yeah. But yeah, no pain, no gain. Remember that? Yeah, I do as well. I'm old enough to remember that as well. Anyway, I'm going to crawl out of here, grab the angle grinder, and snip these off. Get the wrenches under here, and yeah, I'll do that. Then I'll just get the tank lifted up and into place. But first of all, I'm going to wash these wounds because diesel and open wounds is probably not a good idea. So I'll be back. Right, that's everything snipped up. I did put that pickup back in first, so I've got nothing in there. The other thing I've done is I've stuck the wet vac in, and I've just vacuumed everything out inside the tank just to be sure there's no debris left in there. Now, admittedly, I would not be snipping those bolts off with the angle grinder if this was a gas tank, if this was petrol. The only reason I felt safe in doing so is because it's diesel, and it takes more than a little bit of a spark to ignite diesel. And the tank is empty, but you know, if it had been petrol or gasoline, certainly would not have done that, because the vapours left in the tank alone are enough to ignite it, and that's a bad day. It's a very bad day. So anyway, that's it basically there now. I've just got to get connect these fellas up, and yeah, then just lift the tank up into place, and then that's it, we're done. Way hey. Well, there we have it. Tank is now back in, lines are all hooked up, And yeah, so let's crawl out and we are going to put some diesel in and take a look at the gauge. God, please let it work. Well, I've put just over a gallon in, so let us take a look. Watch your ears because the light on beeper might come on. Well, seems to be working. I will pick some more diesel up tomorrow. I do have to run into town, so yeah, that'll be a better test of it when I get actually a little bit more in, because it is a large tank that. I think it's about, I forget what it is now, but yeah, a gallon of diesel kind of covers about that much of the bottom, so. Anyway, yeah, that's that now complete. So, I guess the next step is to go and grab the fresh water tank and we'll have a bit play around with that, see what we can figure out. Houston, we have a problem. Well, I had to run into town, so I decided, well, I'm in here, I may as well get a couple of gallons of diesel, stick it in the tank, and then I can continue with the grey water container tomorrow. But, and a big but. You see where that needle is? That needle is in the same position as it was with the single gallon in. Well, a gallon and a half, give or take. Yeah. And I know the sender unit was working and the gauge was working prior to fitting the tank back in. So, what has happened between now and then? That is the question, and right now I don't have an answer, because that's exactly where the gauge was sitting with the original sender unit as well. This is frustrating. This is incredibly frustrating. Anyway, it's nearing the end of the day. It'll be getting dark soon. I'm tired and frustrated, so I'm just going to come back and finish this water tank off in the morning, and then lower the tank, the fuel tank down, just enough so I can get to the sender unit and just see if I can see what's going on. Because obviously at this point I don't know. As I said, it was working fine, now it isn't. And only thing I can think of is maybe there's a fault somewhere in the wiring. You know, maybe it's getting trapped somewhere, something like that. Because obviously when it was out of the van, it was working fine. So that's the only thing that's been done, is that the tank's been lifted up and bolted into place. So, yeah. No, I don't want to take this back out again. Anyway, that's for tomorrow, John. Today, John is going to go and take a shower and relax for the rest of the day and probably just brood over why this isn't working. So, yeah, I will be back tomorrow. So, it isn't the next day. I just could not rest, so I'm back out here trying to figure out what on earth is going on with this sender unit. First thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to drop the tank right out. I'm just going to loosen the straps as far as they go, and I just want to get my hand in, see if I can just feel anything. I've been looking around the wiring and the wiring looks fine. Can't see anything obvious. So let me just pull this down a little bit, see if I can figure what's going on. Okay, so I've had the wiring disconnected, hooked it up to another sender unit. I'm just unhooking it back up there at the moment. You can see in there, but yeah, I've had it disconnected, hooked it up to another sender unit, and it seems to be working fine. I wonder if it's just that, I don't know, that's probably, I don't know. The wiring's fine, so my thought at this point is could the sender unit be acting stupid? Oh, I've lost a little nut off there. There's a nut, where's the washer rod? Okay, let's get this back up there. I'm wondering if, I don't even know if you can see that, but I'm wondering if the sender unit has, now that it's got fuel on it, it's gone a bit dodgy. So what I want to do is, where the hell's it at? Oh, great, I pulled it off. That's happened to the washer. I'll pull it off? No, I haven't. What I'm going to do is when I get this back on, I'm going to go in and take a quick look at the footage to see where the gauge was at originally and see if I can determine whether or not it's gone up or down. It's gone up or not. I mean, it's got 3 gallons of fuel. Oh, then again though, I mean, it's got another 2 gallons of fuel in, so you would have thought that it would have taken it up further. Where's it at again? I can't find it. There it is. I don't even know whether you can see this or not. It's okay, laying on the ground with my arm over the top of the prop shaft. Right. Okay, secure. Let's crawl out, go look in the cab and see what we can see. If not, I'm gonna, if it's made no difference, I'm gonna go and take a look at the footage and see if I can see basically where the gauge was when before I put the fuel in. Okay, we're back inside again. So it's still saying just off the empty. So let's go and take a look at the footage. Okay, so here is the original footage. Okay, so let's try this again. The camera died. It is cold here today, and it really is just killing all the batteries and everything. So anyway, oh, there's the buzzer. Okay, obviously we are reading a little on the gauge because I don't know where I've left the sender unit, but tell me if it works correctly. Well, as we can see from that, that was working, and if you can see where the needle is sitting, yes, this is a problem. This is a problem. I don't know what's going on here. So obviously it's not the wiring, it's not the gauge. Don't say I'm going to have to pull that tank and put another sender unit in. Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? So, drained 90% of the fuel back out of it. Yeah. Let's just drop her on down here and see what we can figure out. Not ideal, I certainly didn't want to be doing this again, but obviously we need to see what's going on. Well, it's all out again, so I'm going to climb out. Yeah, I've got the sender unit out down there. I don't know if you can see it. I'm kind of sitting in front of the light here, but so what I'm going to do is turn the ignition on and just move this sender unit up and down and see if it's working. Hopefully it is. Right. I'm getting too old for this. I really am. Anyway, you can see it better there now. I think I'm out of the way. So, okay, let's just set it at its minimum position. Actually, no, I'll take it up to about there. Try it there. And so, yeah, that is reading. So let's try it up a bit further. Out there. And yeah, it's reading again. So only thing I can think is, just turn that off a moment. Only thing I can think is maybe, just maybe, I've had the float set too high. And you know, because although these are quite a reasonable sized tank, they are very flat. So maybe I've just had that float set too high and there hasn't been enough fuel in to really move it too far. So yeah, let's make a quick adjustment to it and we'll just take it from there. God, I've got to get back under again, haven't I? Well, got everything back together again. This guy just sits over there. So let's get this slid back up into place and try it again. It's back in again, so let's start pumping some diesel in and then see what happens. Well, putting fuel back in there, and yeah, it's dark. Funnel doesn't fit very well, that's why I'm doing it like this, because I end up spilling more. Well, if you can hear over all the noise, she's actually going up. Oh, there's the end of the tank empty. So it's saying just over a quarter of a tank, which is about right. There's just over 3.5 gallons, so give or take, that's about a quarter of a tank on this. Yeah, I'll just have to see how this plays out. Yeah, not a lot I can really do, just, you know, keep an eye on it. I may invest in a better sender unit. I might have a look online, see what's available tonight, and yeah, just kind of take it from there. Yeah, not a lot to say really, but yeah, I am definitely packing up now, and I'll start afresh with a water tank tomorrow. So that's it for tonight. Definitely that's it for tonight. Well, this has definitely been an interesting few days. That's interesting. I don't know why the speedo is dimming like that. Anyway, so I know I've shot a lot of footage regarding the tank and the sender unit, so I think I am going to put that in its own video, and basically this is the end of it. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this up here. Tomorrow I am going to get on with the water tank, and you will see that sometime. I'll put that and the exhaust system together. I think that should make an episode. I don't know yet until I get deep into the editing, but basically, yeah, I think the tank is going to be a standalone episode, so there you go. I'm tired and I'm rambling and I'm just ready to go take a shower and go to bed. Anyway, that's it for now. There you go, trials and tribulations. So if you've got your own project going, you know, sometimes you just got to keep plugging away at it until you get it fixed. But yeah, then it can be a bit demoralising. But, you know, just keep going and sooner or later you get there. Anyway, take care, come back and see me sometime, and have a good one.